What's going on, podcasters? Welcome back. Today's the first day of the NBA season, and who is excited? Are you guys excited?
I'm very excited.
I am hyped.
What games are today? I don't remember.
Nuggets Lakers is one,
Yeah,
and oh shoot, what was the other? Is
The
it
Uh,
Warriors.
It's Suns Warriors.
Suns Warriors? That's right.
don't worry.
It's for the Eastern Conference.
Jason Tatum's on the poster.
Did you guys see the graphic of they were hyping up the games and Jokic didn't make the cut?
Jason
Yeah.
Tatum did.
Tatum was on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna start with the game, and we might do this weekly, and you guys can play along. Basically, I'm researching a random player I just thought of on Basketball Reference and telling you guys about some of the stats, and you guys try to guess him, and then you guys can ask questions, and I'll say yes or no, or give you a little more information, and we can go on from there. Kind of like 20 questions, but not very legit. So first, this is a player that averaged 15.4 points last year, 4.2 rebounds, and 1.4 assists.
Has he committed a crime in the last year?
No, not that
That
I'm aware
eliminates
of.
Charlotte then.
15.4, you said?
Yeah, just you all can guess a player off the stats. See if you get it first try, and then you go on the questions.
4 rebounds and 1 assist.
About 1.5 assists, yeah. And then the
Hmm.
steals and blocks. I can give you efficiencies too. I was just pulling it up. So
Are we like working together? Is this a competition?
we can make it a competition. That'd be fun. But I was gonna let you all have a guess
I'm
first.
always gonna lose.
He had about 1.5 turnovers, 3.5 fouls. He shot 46% field goal percentage and 36% from three and 81% from the free throw line, 0.7 steals and 0.4 blocks. And that's about all the important stats.
Uh, and you said 15 points per game, but 4 rebounds and 1 assist.
1.5, yeah. And about 1 turnover, it said. So not a very good passer. He has a 1 assist to turnover ratio.
Hey, at least it's not below that.
True. You guys aren't
Hmm.
supposed to get it first try. That's why
Oh,
we're gonna do the
should we ask
questions.
East or West?
We're not doing. You're guessing a player first,
Oh.
and then
Oh, we have to come up with somebody before we can ask questions.
I just thought you just throw a dart out there and see if someone can get it first try, and then
All
we
right,
could go
my
on
guess
questions.
is Sadiq Bey.
No.
Balls.
Hmm.
It's
I'm gonna guess Bojan Bogdanovic.
No.
no, he averaged more than 15.
DeAndre Hunter.
Yes.
Oh my God. I knew it was a hawk. I just couldn't
Tucker got it
decide the
first
right
try.
one.
I actually was looking at him for trades yesterday, so I remembered he averaged 15.
Well, that's not as fun. Well, next week I'll think
Tucker,
of
you
someone
said you were
Tucker.
gonna lose.
Yeah.
He
Well,
got
I
it
was
first
expecting
try.
some
He didn't need
obscure
anything else.
player that you and Cody would be like, oh, I remember this guy.
I mean, this
Mauricio
player's
said-
not a huge player. Like half people probably wouldn't know him. He's just a role player on the Hawks. That's why I picked him. Like I did a wheel for the team, and then I did a number like position in the.
I knew it was going to be a forward too because they didn't average a ton of rebounds or assists.
Yeah.
I just picked the wrong Hawks forward.
I almost said that's close, but that would have gave it away, Peyton.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I'm like, Tucker's gonna get it first try. Anyway,
Let's
that was my
go.
little game. We're gonna do this every week to start the pod, and then Peyton, you can talk about this week's topic if you want.
All right. So this week we're going to look at every single team in the league and decide if we think if they're going to be better or worse than they were last season. So basically, I'm just going to read out their record and we can discuss. So what order do you all want to do? Do you want to go like top to bottom or bottom to top?
Let's do reverse from let's do like where they drafted. That'd be easy. Like the worst to the best. It's like Spurs forward or yeah. That doesn't matter.
Let me pull up the draft order. So I guess first the Spurs.
I think they'll be better.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they're gonna be teetering.
Last year they only won 22 games, so
I
Yeah,
think they're
they're-
gonna
I think-
teeter in a play-in spot. And Wembanyama looks so good.
Mm-hmm. They're a more solid team than just like when you look at paper, like when you think about it.
Who's gonna stop Wemby? I drafted him on fantasy second because he's gonna be a monster. He blocked Clay's three, and then he went
Oh
over
my
and
God.
dunked it, and then he
Mhm.
blocked Andrew Wiggins and then splashed a three in transition. Like, who does that?
It's so crazy
Wemby.
because he's immediately gonna come in and like I think the league's too stacked for them to be like good, but he's definitely gonna make them a lot better.
I
Bro,
was thinking like a 10
Jackson,
seed.
Jackson in fantasy, you were pissing me off so bad because you kept drafting right in front of me, and you took Josh Giddey before me, you took
Yeah.
Wemby before me, and then
Yeah.
you took who was the third? There was a third guy. I don't remember. I was so angry at you.
Yeah.
Oh, Tucker, you took someone that I was super mad at you for, but I don't remember who it was
Was
because
it
I
at
had to
the
like
end of the?
scroll down for it too.
Was it Caleb Martin?
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
I'll see
okay.
if I
You
can
took
remember
for
who it was,
you
but
took
took Ja
forever after
Morant.
that.
I think he can't. He's not even eligible for the IR, Peyton. So he just has to sit on my bench.
it's better than Bol on Bryce's bench.
Did I? Was it Cam Johnson or I took DeJounte Murray? That was a player I took. Tyler Hero, Miles Turner. I don't know. I took a bunch of crazy guys.
Listing them all.
All right,
All
who's
right.
next, Peyton?
Next is the Hornets. So last year the Hornets went 27 and 55. So
Mhm.
do we think they're going to be better or worse?
I'm gonna say they're gonna be around there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I'm
I
gonna
think
say
they're going to
worse.
be a
Games.
little bit better.
I think they're gonna be worse.
I'm teetering towards worse.
I'm gonna say worse as well, because I think everybody else got that much better.
Because the
LaMelo
league's
might
definitely more
carry,
talented, but
but if
yeah,
LaMelo's
like
hurt, who's gonna do stuff on their team?
last year they won 27 games without LaMelo, and now they're adding back LaMelo and Miles Bridges, maybe, and Brandon Miller, maybe.
Alright,
But I think they're just going to be a little bit better. Maybe that's like 28 wins. Like I still
But
don't think they're going to be great.
my only
Even
thing
good.
is all these other teams got better, like the Pacers, the Magic, the
The
Pistons are a
Pistons.
little better, and these teams getting more wins. Someone has to lose some. So that's all I'm saying. Like I gotta pick my battles.
I think there's going to be a lot of parity in the league this year, even
That's
more so than
fair.
last year. And like last year, there was a lot. MPJ, that's who it was, Tucker.
Oh yeah.
I was about to have the full Denver Nuggets team on my fantasy team. All right.
I don't
So
let
up
you get
next,
that
we
many
have
points.
your beloved Blazers. Last year,
Better.
they went 33 and 49. So better or worse?
Better.
I think it'll be
Um,
close.
I think they lost Dame, so I'm gonna have to go worse.
I'll go worse just because not saying they can't make a good playing team. That's like their peak for me, but again, a lot of teams got better, and I put the Spurs jumping up. The Rockets
Yeah.
probably got a little better because they got competent NBA players. Like someone's gonna have to fall.
Mhm.
Yeah, they could definitely fall. I saw an interesting thing where some people said, this draft class isn't very good. So a lot of teams that normally would start tanking at the end of the year
They won't take.
could start pushing instead to get their young roster some playoff experience. Because
Yeah,
there's such a drop off from last year's draft to this year's draft, I feel like.
that's fair. Plus Aiton's a little sissy poo.
Got a tank for Zach Edey.
You guys got the Wembanyama stopper.
That's the big thing with the Blazers, though, is like I don't really know how their defense is gonna be because I think they should be able to score, even though they don't really have like a
They got
crazy good
Ishwin right
scorer
now.
besides Simons, but
They don't need anyone else.
If
Or
Aiton
Malcolm.
wants to play, maybe.
Malcolm mode.
Yeah, I think the defense is going to be how healthy is Robert Williams and does Aiton buy in?
and history
Enough.
tells us not very healthy.
And
Yeah.
not buying in.
But all right, next we
We'll
got
find
the
out Wednesday.
Houston Rockets,
I think they'll be
22 and 60. I think they're definitely going to be better than that.
better.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
is enough to make them better. Plus, they got a Thompson twin, and then they got Dylan Cooks.
Jabari Smith will
Smith.
be better.
Oh, yeah,
already
he
was.
impressed me
Yeah.
in like summer league and
Well,
preseason.
that's
I
he
always thought he'd
had
take a few years.
he had a really good like end of last season. Kind of found his footing, so
He's kind of playing like I've seen some clips where he looks almost like a tall Paul George. Like he's making very small forward like moves.
Yeah.
yeah.
mean, I think he probably has the defense to play small forward at some point in his career.
He's just a little tall. He's like, isn't he like 6'10"?
So
Maybe
is
I'm
Kevin
wrong.
Durant.
Yeah, he's very, very big.
Yeah, he could be a power forward, small forward. Like if you have to run him at small forward.
They
sort of
just don't
thing.
have many bigs, so like I'd keep him at
Yeah.
the 4.
They got Big Jacques.
He looks scary with his buzz cut. I don't like that.
It didn't even look like him.
He looked like
I think
he-
Cody said that's not Jacques, that's Jack.
Jack Landale. He's from the South. But yeah, I think they'll be better. Do we think they're a playoff team? I think we should throw
I-
that in here now.
I don't think they're a playoff team.
I don't
no.
either.
I think they're a play-in, maybe.
I think their ceiling's probably the play-in.
I
but the
don't
West
think they're
is just
making the
so
play in
deep.
still.
Yeah, there's just too many other teams that are gonna be vying for, unless
Injury.
major injury occurs.
Yeah. I don't think
But
they're
like maybe they
playing.
win 30 games this year instead of 20. I'd call
Right.
that a win for them.
Yeah,
Or even 25.
Let's not go crazy.
Yeah. That's
All right. Next, the worst team in the league last season, the Pistons, who won 17 games.
They're
they're
winning
gonna
more.
be better.
Cade
Yeah,
will
they're
be here.
definitely they can win more than 17.
Yeah, even if it's not, even if, I don't know that they'll be a playoff or play-in team. Probably
Yeah.
I still don't
not,
think
Just the
they're gonna be
lottery.
good, but
but they'll be better than 17 wins.
They could be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, another year of
Yeah,
Jaden
maybe
Ivey
for a
getting
little bit.
better,
Oh
get
yeah,
Cade back.
Bogdanovich.
Jalen
I like a
Duren.
Sir.
Yeah,
I like
Beef
that they're
stew.
picking between Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman. Like they're gonna pick one of them, so they might one of those might get traded to an even worse team that needs a big or just out of the league.
Ugh. There aren't
And-
too many teams that I think are going to be worse than the Pistons, though.
But like they have so many bigs. Like the Hornets do not have a bigs. They just cut Kai Jones.
Dude, the Hornets would love James Wiseman.
Exactly. Even though I think he's gonna beat out Marvin Bagley. Come on. You see him in preseason, he actually looked good.
I didn't watch him. Is he turning it around a little bit?
On offense, yeah, which I always thought he'd take a little bit longer. He's always been an all right defender. He's just not a
Aren't
rim
those-
runner like the Warriors want him to be, and I don't blame him.
Aren't those two former number 2 overall picks?
Yeah,
Oh, and they're competing for minutes on the Pistons.
Jalen Duren better. I like the
Yeah.
Piston squad. I think they're going to be really good in like 4 seasons at the latest. Like Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, there's All-Star Thompson. I think that could be a really good gritty core. That could be a nice playoff
Mhm.
team, especially as some of these older teams stop winning. Like, what's the window of Giannis and Dame? Like 4 or 5 years. Giannis
Yeah.
is still gonna be very
Oh,
good.
if
Dame's
even
gonna be
that, but-
gone.
Dame said he's until 38, he's good. So that's what he
Maybe.
said.
Like, yeah, he'll be a plus player, but all I'm saying is like they're not gonna like dominate like they will this year. Just some of these older teams that just have limited time is how I feel. And some of these younger teams are gonna finally get like Sixers, that's a mess. They're gonna blow it up. Stuff like that. And then like for like the Nets, like the Pistons, I feel like have a better young core than the Nets at the moment. Like the Nets are
The Nets
farther
kinda
along.
Weird.
The Nets are farther along. They have better players, but like the Pistons are all like 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds in a locker room. Like, of course, they're not going to be great. They're just dicking
Mhm.
around.
Because that's the thing with them is I think they're way too young to just
don't have
be
a
a
vet.
really good team now.
That's why I like Monty
They
Williams
got
on this team.
Boyan. That's about it.
Monty
I guess
Williams on this
Alec
team is so
Burks.
good for them.
Because yeah, that gives me a little bit of hope.
Culture shifter.
All right,
Enough
up
about
next we got the
Pistons.
Magic. They won 34 games last year, which is a decent amount. That's only one less than the Pacers won last year.
I think
I still think they're going to be better though,
I'm feeling
even if
the
it's just by a
same
little bit.
to better.
if Franz
Yeah.
can take, I think Franz has a shot at like that all-star. If he takes that jump, then
I
yeah.
guess. I don't think he'll be an all-star over Paulo.
Cause once
Paulo's team.
again, with this kind of exercise, you gotta think, all right, well, we say this team's gonna be better,
But
so where are
it's-
those
yeah.
extra losses gonna go?
Yeah,
Like what
I have
team's gonna
a-
lose more?
I have 3, so
I think
later.
there are, yeah, a few teams that will lose more though, but so I think they'll win a little more, but
I say
they'll
like
be
a
a
like 38.
borderline playing
something like
team,
that.
maybe.
Because
Not-
all
not-
these
not
teams
40.
so far, besides like the Rockets that I've said are going to get a little bit better, I don't think any of them are even going to make like the play-in.
Magic
Just
might.
maybe they're going to make a couple, like win a couple more games than last year.
I could see a 10 seed for the Magic.
Yeah, I think if everything goes right for them, they could.
They just don't have shooting. That's the only thing I'm scared. Like maybe they want a Buddy Hield. We're not
If I
giving
were
it
the
to
Pacers,
them.
I wouldn't do that. Just
They just want 'em.
not bolster your own conference, but
Nah, but Buddy Magic sounds so cool.
oh, that would be really cool.
Anyway,
But next is our beloved Pacers.
they're
So
better.
last year we won 35. We're winning way more than that this year. 50-win team, baby.
We're gonna be above 500 if Tyrese plays. That's all. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna say.
mean, 'cause
he was
we
a
were
4
a-
seed when
We
he
were a
played.
500 team before Tyrese went out and then we lost 10 straight.
Hmm.
I think as long as we can stay healthy, we'll win more than 35 games. I think the Pacers' top potential is a playoff team, not even in the play-in.
I agree.
Hmm.
But I think they're a pretty decent lock for at least like the play-in, even if it's the last play-in spot. I think they're almost
They're
a
a
lock.
playing team for sure.
Because
I'm
think
feeling
we,
6
we were the
seed.
11th seed, weren't we, last year? So like
Yes.
1 seed out,
And
and it was like 7 games, but it was still the first seed out.
it was
Yeah.
5 games from the Bulls, and we sat Tyrese and Miles. We tanked.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, and George Hill won us like one of those games, that the last game in the New York, but
We were tanking pretty bad. We let the Pistons like blow us out, remember?
Mhm.
But
I really
I
think Miles is going to be the key this year.
that's
Yep.
why I drafted him.
he had a career year last year.
I think it might
So-
be
If he
Obi
can do even
Toppin.
better this year, then we're going to be in a good spot.
Obi Toppin
Yep.
really impressed me in preseason. Just his motor. Like I didn't think he'd hustle or try on defense, but
I'm really glad he turned it around after that first couple preseason games because I
He
was
didn't
worried
play a
for a
lot.
little bit, but he really impressed me the last couple.
to me, I think Ben might be the key. Ben's looking very good. Like Miles is gonna do Miles things, and even if he doesn't get any better or regresses a little bit but plays defense, like if Ben takes that another level, like we're for sure a playoff team.
Because the reason I say Miles is the key is just because he basically is the Pacers defense and he's a giant part of it. And that's where the Pacers are going to struggle. Because on offense, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Ben looks like he's guarding better this year, which I'm happy. Like he's like actually making people pick up their dribble, and he's always
He
been
has
a
all
pretty
the
good off
tools,
ball. But I like it. I like what I've seen. Plus, Nimhard hasn't played, and he's a very good defender. I like Neesmith. Like it just, I feel like we just need to put the keys together and like have a good scheme. Like we're not going to be a great defensive team, but you can't tell me we can't be a 500 defensive team. Like we're not. We don't need to be the bottom 5 of the league again.
Yeah. Because if we're really good offense and like a league average defense, like that's a playoff team.
That's what I'm feeling.
All right. So up next we have the Wizards, who won 35 games last year.
Way under.
Worse.
Yeah.
The Jordan Poole experience. He had 40,
Well-
3, and then he had one
Yeah,
of
Jordan
15.
Poole's gonna win you a few games, but
There is
he's
an
gonna lose
argument
you a
that
lot
they
too.
go 500. Jordan Poole has 51 game, and they win. In the next game, he's like 1 of 15 again. That's what I'm saying.
It's a good point.
That's
So,
true.
I feel like they could have the Jazz type role. Like they're not going to win as many games, but I feel like they could win like some games like at the beginning of the season and then like taper off. Like I feel like they might come out like the Jazz did last year and just play energy and everything, and then just ultimately not make the play in. But
I mean, this is just a nasty team though. Like
I just meant they got scores. That's all. Like they got
Jordan
Kyle
Poole and
Kuzma.
Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are gonna have to be your Shaq and Kobe on this team.
And they can
'Cause,
do it,
like,
baby.
Their third best player, I don't even know,
Daniel Gafford, baby.
Landry Shamet,
I'd say Daniel Gafford.
Actually, it's probably Tyus Jones, right?
Tyus Jones, yeah.
Tyus Jones. Okay,
Daniel
fair.
Gafford's on there. Bilal Koulibaly, Pacers legend.
The thing
I
with
mean,
I feel like the Jazz last year, they just played as a team, like played really good team ball. But with the Wizards and Jordan Poole, I mean, we already saw that one clip of Denny Avdia.
I'm just
No, it's
saying
not
better
team
than
ball.
expected. Like some people were putting them at like single digit wins. I'm like, I think they could get like 24.
they just need to
25,
give.
but they're gonna be worse.
They just need to give Johnny Davis the keys.
The keys to what? His car to drive away and never come back.
Dude, don't worry. They got my boy what's his name? What's the white boy Zeke used to love?
Corey Kispert.
Corey Kispert. Heck yeah.
Yes.
And they still got Taj Gibson, I'm pretty sure.
Ugh,
How does he still have a job?
They just want to pay him.
He's the
He's-
vet in the locker room. Come on.
300 years old.
Yeah. And there's not much to say about the Wizards. They're just gonna be
No.
it's gonna be like the co-rec teams.
Pretty much. All right, next we got the Jazz, who we were just talking about, who won 37 last year. And I think they're definitely going to be worse this year.
I was gonna say worse, that they
Yeah.
overachieved.
I mean, it won't super surprise me if they're in the 30s win-wise, but like also there's a lot of really good teams, so I think they'll be significantly worse.
I want Laurie to prove
The
it to
Jazz
me
just
again.
don't have any cards.
That
Do
too.
they have a point guard, like an
I
actual?
mean, Colin
true-
Sexton.
They drafted one, didn't they?
Because they have like
No, they're
Colin
just shooting guard.
Sexton and like Taylor Horton Tucker, but those aren't card guards.
They do have Chris Dunn.
Oh, so no.
I thought they drafted one. Give me one
They
second.
drafted
not-
Keontae George. He's a shooting guard.
That's a guard.
Because like Lowry Markkinen's like that, but I just don't know how far he can take them this year. Because last year they had Mike Conley, who was a steady
Hey.
hand, and Fando, but
I'm interested in John Collins.
that's true. They did get John Collins, but
And they still have Jordan Clarkson.
yes, that's true.
Wonder
But,
if
like-
Lowry Markkinen will have another All-Star year or not.
I don't think so.
Bruh,
I think-
he's got that military training now, though. He's gonna be
I think he's gonna be
intimidating.
good, but I don't think he's gonna be like I don't know. It's just hard.
I mean, he shot 40% from 3 on 8 attempts last season.
Yeah, he
That's
Like
great.
last season, he was borderline All NBA, and I don't think he's going to be that good, but he's definitely still going to be really,
'Cause
really good.
They'll need him to be that good, if not better, to win the same number or more games.
He averaged 25. Dog.
Yeah, no, he was really, really good.
Mhm.
I want him to be good. I need to see it one more year, and then I believe in it. I don't know. I'm just a little cynical. Like it's like okay, I could see him doing that, or I could see him regressing. Like it's like the Julius Randle.
Well, the
experience.
problem is he spent at the beginning of his career with the Bulls and the Cavs, so we saw him 4 times a year playing the Pacers and not doing much, so we just have a bad taste of him in our mouth.
The Bulls can't
still-
develop.
I still can't believe that trade. Portland could have had Laurie for nothing. And they were like, no, give us Larry Nance Jr.
Dude, maybe
Then you
Dame would
traded
still
Larry
be
Nance
there.
for nothing, and then you traded Larry Nance for Josh Hart, and then traded him for Cam Reddish, and then just let him walk.
Yeah.
And it is the right
Yeah.
decision. Look at him. Oh, he sucks on
Good
the
old
Lakers.
Blazers front office.
Hey, they got
Alright.
something back for Dame, so just be happy. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna get back Nikola Jovic.
And Taylor Horton Tucker. So next is the Mavs. They won 38 games last year.
I have them at worse.
I got better.
I think I'm gonna have to say worse, just because
This
if
is-
Luca's hurt, I don't really see how far they can
I'm not
go.
predicting him getting hurt though. Injuries
This-
is what is hard for me. If Luca's playing and Kyrie's playing and they have a pretty decent roster, I think they could be a 500 team.
This is a tough one.
It's tough.
I was not impressed by Luca and Kyrie together at that like last little stint of the season.
They could always trade Kyrie.
We'll talk about that later.
I'm gonna
Preview.
say better, but only like 1 or 2 games better.
See, I think they could be 500.
I guess
Well,
that's fair.
That's
41
only
games.
that's
It's a few
only 4
games.
games better.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm with you, agreeing with you, Cody.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be like top seed. If they are,
just because
congrats.
the only reason I say that is we talked about the Blazers and the Jazz losing more games this year, so those wins have to go somewhere.
They're all
There's
going to the Spurs.
Several other teams. There's also another team we'll talk about later that's probably gonna have a
got-
lot
I
more
got-
losses.
I got 2
So-
that are probably dropping later. So
Next.
yeah,
Next, we got OKC, who won 40 games last year,
give me
just
the
a game
over.
shy of 500.
More.
I'm gonna
Chet's gonna be so
say
good.
Chet
more
looks awesome.
I'm going to say more as well.
just because, you know, they have Shea and Chet and all that.
I'm feeling 45 wins.
They may, I was gonna say, it won't be a crazy number more, but it will
Mhm.
be more, I feel like.
Which 45
Because I
is the 4
definitely
seed
see them
last
being
year.
over 500.
They drafted Caleb McConnell from Rutgers. I didn't know that.
You hear something
The
funny?
needle
Peyton?
mover.
So Alton was queuing people up during the draft, and he was clicking Jalen Williams to look at him, but then it drafted for him because it went right up whenever it was
Oh.
his turn. So he's like, crap, because it was like really early on. So that's why Jalen Williams went up so early. But he's like, he's
I
not
was
a bad
kind of wondering
player.
about that.
He's like, he's not a bad player, but I would not have taken him here because he was just hitting Q for a bunch of people he liked.
Because I don't really think he would know who Jalen Williams is either.
He does. He keeps up with it a little bit because he does fantasy with us every year. But I think he had him last year. But that's
so
why
we all agree the Thunder are going to be a little better.
they're my
Yeah.
Kings of last year. I think they're going to be America's sweetheart. Everyone's going to like talk about.
Really?
I think
I feel
not,
like everyone's
not all the way
already
up.
doing that.
Not all the way up. I don't think they're going to be the 3 seed like the Kings were, but I think they're
Okay.
going to be the one to make the jump in the West. Like I think
Okay.
they're going to be the one hyped over there. You know how like the Kings, everyone's like, look at the Kings, they're great. It's going to be the OKC Thunder next year.
Like,
It
I can
annoys
definitely
me.
see them being like a 5 seed or
It annoys me
maybe
how
even higher.
quickly they were able to rebuild.
It's because they like let's take every pick and then just draft.
I know they
And
were
also,
able to
let's get
get,
super lucky with Shea.
and they got so many good pieces for trading Paul George and Russ and all
and Chris Paul.
everybody.
The fact that Shea turned into what he did is like that skyrocketed there.
Yeah, because I mean, I think most people thought Shea was going to be a really good player at some point in time, but I don't think they thought he'd be this good and especially this quickly.
The Quickly's what
They've
got
also
me.
drafted like out of the park too.
It also
Like,
helps that
They've lottery
have-
luck
Because we
too.
kind of thought they stretched with Giddy, but Giddy's
Yeah.
turned into a beast.
having Chris Paul that one season they went to the playoffs with him, like I feel like probably really helped their development.
I think so. Shay's talked about how Chris Paul's like helped him with his like killer instinct and everything. Like he really liked playing with him that one year. And plus, Shay's been in the playoffs 2 different seasons. He has that experience. So like we know this isn't fake. He played really well against the Rockets that one year. And then when he was on the Clippers, they took a few games off the 1 seed when they're 8 seed with like Lou Will and all them. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
It's before my time.
I've just heard so many people talk about it. It was before my time too. So I started watching when the Clippers trade happened, or like a little before that. But yeah, I think OKC will be a pretty good team next year, and I really like what I'm seeing from Chet. Like they've needed that center.
All right. So next up we have the Bulls, and the Bulls also won 40 games.
They're dropping.
I gotta
Yeah,
go
I
agree.
lower. I think Zach LaVine, is gonna be just as good, if not better than last year. I feel like at some point DeMar DeRozan age is gonna catch up to him.
Kobe White though.
I don't trust Kobe White with the keys to the franchise. There's just a lot of old, like, is Vucevic gonna be the same?
Yeah, no, probably not.
Andre Drummond, like they got
Caruso.
a lot of guys who are getting
Caruso's like the
towards
only reason I think they might be fine.
getting
For
towards
me-
the end of their career. And they just don't have a very good team at the end of the
They
day.
gotta blow it up.
This is one of my 3 teams I think could blow it up at the deadline. And
Do you all remember the 21-22 Pacers and how before
yeah.
the season everyone was like, yeah, they're probably going to be solid, maybe like
Yeah.
a
That's how it
7,
reminds
8
me.
seed,
Yeah,
and then
just
they
like
were
that.
garbage.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the Bulls are going to be this year.
I feel like the Bulls are also kind of in denial that that's what they are.
Will they be desperate and trade Patrick Williams or someone like that?
We will give him Jeremy Grant.
Now, here's the crazy thing.
No.
They were what, like 30 seconds, 45 seconds away from beating the Heat in the play-in to
Yeah,
like that.
and going to the NBA Finals.
No, they would have lost to the Bucks. There's no way.
Yeah, but like it's just
But
crazy.
that's not how this works.
No,
If you beat the
It would've
team
been
that
them.
won the East, you go.
Yeah.
Dog. The Bulls played the Bucks the year before, and they barely even like got close.
Hey, the Bucks
took a
swept
game.
the Heat a couple years ago.
Hey, they've been on like an on again,
Couldn't
off
sweep
again
the Bulls.
relationship. Like the Heat and the Bucks series is like a abusive ex girlfriend. Like it's every other year they're beating each other up. Same with the Celtics. And I know the Heat's always on top, but then next year it's gonna be Heat Bucks again, and they're gonna sweep the Bucks. Heat. Like it's gonna go back and forth. I'm feeling it. Dame's gonna like
Hey.
drop 40 on his mouth.
Last season, the Bulls were 2-2 against Milwaukee.
Did Giannis play?
I couldn't tell you that.
Okay.
I don't have that information readily available.
We're gonna
Doesn't
say
matter, though.
yes.
Giannis didn't play a lot last year, so that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't matter.
I like the Bulls. I don't believe in them. It's kind of bad when your biggest fan, like Kenny Beecham, just doesn't believe in them. He said they're gonna be 11 seed on his podcast. Like, come
I
on.
think they're gonna be a lot lower than that.
They just don't have a good team.
They got good
Like-
players. Nothing else is good on
Do
that team.
they?
I just
Zach
feel like their
Levine is a
culture's
really
gotta
good player.
be
All
in the
right,
mud.
Zach Levine, that's one good
DeMar
player.
DeRozan's a good player.
Yeah, but he's getting old.
Just solid player.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the other
that's
team.
it.
Javon
I
Carter.
like Kobe White. I like
Terry Taylor.
Patrick Williams. I like Terry Taylor. I
Torrey
like players. Torrey Craig.
Checkmate.
I like all them separate, but I don't like them on the same team. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't
Well,
work.
yeah, there are role players. They're
That's what I'm
not.
saying. They should just go get James Harden. Screw it.
Honestly.
What do they have to lose? Besides
The
two
trade.
firsts
They lose the
and
trade.
Patrick Williams
defense.
potentially.
Because that's like the only thing that the Bulls team can probably do is defend.
I didn't think they were going to be able to defend though.
They had a
They
good
were like,
defense
"All right."
last year.
Alex
Yeah, they were
Caruso
top
effect.
5 offense or top 5
Defense,
defense last year. They
for
just
some
could not
reason.
score.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's literally the exact opposite of what everybody thought they were gonna be.
Kind of the Billy Donovan effect, in my opinion.
I don't
But,
know if I don't know how I feel about Billy Donovan. He's just an okay coach to me. Better than Jim Boylan, I guess.
all-time great college coach.
Yeah, college is a different game though.
Yep.
All right, is it time to move on from the Bulls?
Yeah.
We're
We
getting
spent
heated.
too much time talking about them. Up next is the Raptors, who went 41 of 41,
Less.
so perfect 500.
Plus,
They're
Less.
another team I think is going to blow it up. Like OG's leaving. I don't
I don't
think
even
he's
know
going
if
to
they
sign an
can
extension.
win before the blow up.
I mean, they got Precious Dick.
Now, here's the only thing I will say. If Scotty Barnes can make the jump to an all-star player, then they could very well be back where they were last year.
That's a big if.
It's a big if.
It's like saying, oh, if Ben Mathurin averages 30, we could be the 1 seed.
I think
I
that's a
feel like-
little different. I
think
think most
Scotty-
people
Go ahead.
expect Scotty Barnes to make some kind of jump this year. Nobody expects Ben Mathurin to average 30 next season.
I'm just saying it's
You're wrong.
unrealistic for them to be
I
an
d-
all-star. Like, I think he'll make
I
a
don't-
jump, but all-star.
I said all-star level. I didn't say all-star.
Okay, I heard all-star, so I can take level.
I mean, I think Scotty could be all star. If the only thing holding me back from thinking that would be the weird positioning where they've got OG, Pascal, and him. Like if he was just straight up the small forward and had shooters or like a shooter at the shooting guard, then I think he would be better off. and
Cause
play
like
better.
the crazy thing with Scotty Barnes is his stats from year 1 to year 2 are almost identical. Like he averaged
Yeah.
the same points. He shot just about the same percentage, actually a little worse. A little less like within a rebound, within an assist, exact same steals, exact same blocks, exact same turnovers. Like he very much did not go one way or another stats wise, which I think is why some people think this could be the year that he finally makes that next step.
I just think they gotta trade OG, and that's gonna hurt them a lot.
But also they only have Gary Trent Jr. as like their only guard, so. What, they have Ron Harper Jr.?
They also have a new coach. I don't know how that's gonna turn out with that roster.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely think they're gonna be a little bit worse. They do have Jakob Poeltl still though. Last year when Poeltl played, they were solid.
I think they were like 500 when he played, right?
Hey, they were 500.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. Or maybe they were a top something defense. I don't remember the stat I saw, but they were better when he played.
But next we have the Hawks, who had the exact same record, 41-41.
Wars.
I'm gonna say better.
I'm gonna say slightly worse, maybe by like a game or two.
I'm,
They had a lot to figure out last year, and I think they might be a little better.
Yeah, I'm on, it's pretty much the same team, really, just
without
kinda,
John Collins.
you get a full year of Quinn Snyder under the helm.
And they were really good with Quinn Snyder. Like they went out and won a bunch of games. Like
I'm
what
gonna
were they fighting
say,
halfway through?
Trae
to be
Young's
fair,
angry too.
they did the same thing with Nate McMillan when he joined middle of the season.
Different coaching skill level.
Okay, but it's the same,
Skill
Um,
issue.
not gonna die on that hill today. Uh, I'm gonna say just slightly better.
I think the bottom of the East, like not like the bottom, but kind of like the play-in race for the East. I think a lot of teams are going to be under 500 just because I think the West is going to be so competitive and the West is going to be so much deeper than the East, kind of.
Yeah,
But because I feel like the West definitely has better teams in the East, and I feel like a lot of these sort of play-in low seed East teams are going to have worse records because of it.
I have the Hawks in the playoffs. I don't think they'll be a play-in team.
really.
I think they definitely could be. I
Like,
could see it going either
5 or
way.
6 seed is what I'm feeling. Because like we haven't talked about them yet, but the Nets were handed those wins from KD and Kyrie,
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
and I already have them leaving. So that's how I feel. I mean, they could very well have injuries or suck, and I'll eat my words and I'll admit it. I don't know. I just feel like they could be that. So Trae Young is a really good player when he's playing, and everyone
John
hates him.
Collins didn't think so.
John Collins smells bad.
Trae Young don't like him neither.
John Collins just seems kind of like a brat. I don't know. He's a brat.
Just
Right.
remember, we drafted TJ Leaf over him and OG Anunoby.
Mm-hmm.
The OG one hurts a lot, but then we might have never got Tyrese Halliburton, so we might be still not blowing up our team. So I'm
So
happy.
next are the Pels. Pels won 42 games.
This is a
Less.
tough one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'm
say
gonna have to
less.
say
Less.
this
If
one's really
Zion
tough,
plays,
but
I'm putting more, but if he doesn't, less.
I don't believe in them.
So I
Either
don't
of
know
them.
that CJ McCollum's fully healthy yet. He might be. I know he had that all those shoulder problems, but he's getting older. Brandon Ingram, is Brandon Ingram. I don't trust Zion to play 65 games. And their depth kind of got hurt a little bit with, some of the injuries and whatnot.
Yeah,
I think there's too many other,
like Trey
we've said
Murphy's
this,
out.
we've said this so many times today, but there's just too many other teams that are gonna win games that those losses have to go somewhere. Somebody's gotta lose, right?
I see the Thunder jumping them and probably the Mavs. Like I'm not high on the Pelicans.
Cause at the end of the day, it's a guards game, right?
Yeah,
And CJ McCollum, I don't trust
You
CJ
say that
McCollum
as Wemby is in the league.
at this stage. And we just said
because
Wemby's
Jokic
not
Jokic
gonna
plays
be in the
and Giannis are the best
playoffs.
players.
Wemby plays like a guard dog. He over here dribbling over like, oh my god. I don't know.
Honestly, I think the Pelicans are going to be better.
They hurt. Trey Murphy's hurt. I'm not confident
He's-
in
He's not.
any of that. Yeah,
not
Trey
gonna be out
Murphy
for
tore
a
his
ton of time,
MCL.
though.
He tore his meniscus. He's gonna be out probably the whole year.
No, they said he was going to be back in like a couple months.
Will he be Trey Murphy? Because he's a very athletic, explosive player.
I feel like he's going to be solid, but like they're a pretty young team and they're all getting older, and literally, Zion just has to be healthy. If
'Cause
he
Brandon
can just
Ingram
be
ain't
a
healthy
little bit
either.
healthy, they're fine.
I also
I
don't
don't
like the
know.
fit of
I
those
just
two.
feel like that might be the year.
Maybe.
Trey Murphy can return to basketball activities and let's subtract from when this report was put out.
I didn't see that report, so
Maybe 2 months from now, maybe. But that's just return to basketball activities.
so beginning of the year,
So yeah,
maybe
2 months.
But that's that's not
he'll have to
playing
play
games.
fives. He'll have to practice. He'll have to warm up. Like it'll
So
be probably be
3 months from
February,
now.
probably after the All Star break, at the latest.
No, I think he'll be back before then. I don't think he'll be like peak Trey Murphy, but I don't know.
Jose
I think we're
Alvarado's
due
also
for a
hurt.
good Zion season. Like if Zion gets hurt this season, I think it might be over. Like I think the hype's gonna die down and everyone's gonna turn on him, but this is really his prove it year.
I mean, I'm not a big Jonas Valanciunas believer, but
He's just okay. I don't hate him.
we'll
He's
see.
good in fantasy.
He's just good in fantasy. Let's see. What year was Zion really good? Was it 2021 or was it 21-22?
He was an all-star starter last year. Of course, he didn't play in the game, but
Was he a starter last year?
believe so.
I don't think so.
He got hurt before the game, but
I
he was
think I
voted
think
one.
he was.
I'm just gonna fact check. You might be right. I get my years mixed up because like it was an all-star
'Cause
one
he's a
year.
two-time all-star. Somehow.
It's Zion is so annoying because he's so like in the preseason he played like 16 minutes and had like 16 points on 80% shooting. When he plays, he's so good.
And like the Pelicans were still above 500 last year, even when they didn't have him for the majority of the season. But all right, we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next, we got the Wolves, who also had 42 wins.
I think they're gonna go up.
I honestly think they're going to be about the same. I think they're going to slightly improve
I'm feeling an ant season.
because yeah,
Yeah.
Ant's starting to be undeniable.
I definitely think it'll be an ant season, but I as a team I could see them like what Pate said, they'll be around the same. I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll go up or down.
I think I'll have to agree with that. Maybe just
It's better
win
or worse. You
a
gotta
few
say
more
yes
A
or
little,
no.
a
games.
little better.
That's what I'm saying. They might get 43 wins next year. That's what I'm saying.
Then
Yeah, it's
I
not
will
Ant that
agree
I'm
with
worried
that.
about. It's just the everything else.
They might trade Cat. I think they suck. So
We're talking about that later.
I don't have a trade. I'm just telling you they might do that.
All right, next is the Lakers. Won 43 games.
Give me
I think we
over.
all agree they're going to be
This is
better
my
than that.
all-star over.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Unless someone gets hurt, they're definitely going to be better.
AD said he wants to
I
play
think-
all 82 games.
I think they'll be a top 3 seed.
I agree.
I can see them being the 1 seed in the West. Not
They'll
saying they're gonna
definitely
win
be in
it
the
all.
conversation.
Depends on health.
Yeah,
Like how many games does LeBron actually try in?
all of them.
Can AD stay healthy? All the
Yeah,
usual.
how many games does AD play? How many
82.
games does Kevin Durant play?
That's
How many games does Jokic play? Like
Jokic's playing them all.
there's a lot of
Better playing them all.
variability, but
All right. So next is the Heat, who won 44 games.
They're going down, baby.
Yeah, they're going down.
I agree.
I don't know that it'll be by much, but I agree that they will probably go down.
I could see them being a low playing team, like 9 or 10 this year.
Because they lost some depth and Jimmy's starting to get old.
They're
I'm
kind
sorry.
of they're kind of the kings of not like Sacramento Kings, just like the champions of
underwhelming.
coasting in the regular season.
Heat fans
Now,
are like,
granted,
how much?
2 seasons ago they were the 1 seed. But
They had a very different roster. Kyle
They-
Lowry's not going to be Kyle Lowry.
no, they rely on, at least the past few years, they've relied a lot on the 3 ball and making threes, and they just haven't really done that.
They're like in denial. Like every time they lose a player, they're like, "We didn't need you anyway." Like to like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent are like, "Okay, they were bums anyway." But on the
I
other
had-
team, everyone's like, "Oh my god, we found them, next generation stars." Like Heat
I
fans are
had-
delusional.
No idea Nikola Jovic was born in the United Kingdom, and he is now my least
What
favorite
the-
player in the NBA.
Hey,
Oh.
Dua Lipa is from the UK, okay? She's a baddie.
She doesn't play on the Heat.
I don't care. She has a beautiful voice.
I don't know a
Unrelated.
weird
Entertaining.
fact.
Yeah,
The Heat had the same record as the Warriors last year.
yeah.
Does not feel like that.
It's 'cause the Warriors weren't a playing team. They
But
should've-
next we have the Clippers, who also won 44 games.
give me better.
I'm gonna go with better because I think that they'll make a move early
they're
on in
both-
the
they're-
season.
They're both healthy for the first time ever in coming into the offseason.
Yeah,
they
I
said.
will also go with better.
Yeah, I'll say better too.
No, I'm not expecting them
Paul
to win
George
a
is hyping
playoff
up the
series.
season.
I'm not expecting them to win anything. I have no expectations for them. That is over. I don't believe in them, but I think they'll be better in the regular season because they're going to try to play.
Seems like they're finally taking it seriously.
And if they get James Harden, it's a wrap. Like they're not going to win it all, but like they're going to win a lot of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to get rid of untouchable trade
And I
man.
think having Westbrook and Bones in your
Bones is
backcourt,
hurt, right?
well, but he won't be hurt.
I just didn't
Oh,
know what
yeah.
happened. I just saw the clip.
Um,
They got
But
Mason Plumdog.
I think that helps a lot, in terms of scoring whenever Paul George or Kawhi aren't
Yeah.
out there, or just, running the team.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Norman Powell. Like he could be a six man
Yeah.
of the year.
Storm and Norman. So next is the Warriors, also won 44 games, and I think they're going to be better.
I
I don't
honestly
think they're going to have
know.
that horrendous away record again.
I think they'll be the same thing as like Minnesota, where they'll be a little like around the same, but I'm kind of leaning
Yeah.
towards like 1 or 2 games worse.
This is one I could see getting worse too.
I'm
There's just a lot of tension about who's coming off that bench, and they all seem like they have prides and egos about that.
They're also old, so injuries.
Yeah,
That means they're very wise too.
Why is it losing?
I'm gonna
Warriors?
say
Just
a
this
couple
season.
games better. At the end of the day, they have Steph Curry. Klay Thompson has, another season under his belt now.
They got Chris Balls.
Chris Paul is a good player. Corey Joseph's a good backup
Hey
guard.
guys, they got Darius Sarge.
Dario Saric, yeah.
They
course,
don't
they
have
still
Jordan
have
Poole anymore.
Wiggins.
Kuminga and Moody could get better.
Or traded.
Yeah. Trace Jackson Davis is honestly kind of the perfect center for them. I don't really know that he'll play much this year, but like he's
Maybe a little bit
literally like
better.
the perfect
I never want to
center.
hear the words perfect and Trace Jackson Davis in the same sentence.
I know,
anymore.
but he
He's
is
not from IU anymore. He's fine.
he's literally like
Better.
the second coming of the second coming of Kevon Looney, but like a better passer
More
and
athletic too.
offensive player, and yeah, more athletic.
So why isn't he
Basically-
starting over him?
Better Kevon Looney.
Potential
Come on.
wise.
Yeah.
He's not yet.
From a basketball skill set wise, not necessarily a NBA knowledge and experience and wise, but
better athlete is what I'd say.
All right,
But-
next is the Phoenix Suns, 45 wins. So I think
Better.
we're all going to take the over.
I'm
Yeah.
taking
A
the
lot better.
Especially if everyone plays. If some of the stars start hurting, their depth and like their role players ain't winning games. Like they all have to play, or at
I
least two
honestly
of
think
them.
their depth is
They're
decent.
fine, but like say like Katie's hurt, and then they go on this road trip playing like the Lakers and like Pacers, places like that. Like, tough teams to beat. Like they're not going to win.
Bruv
Their role,
threw
well,
in
they'll
the
probably
Pacers.
beat the Pacers, yeah. But
You're trying to guess them up.
but like all I'm saying is they need their stars to play, and I believe in them being a very good team. But
They're definitely going to win more, though. Like last year, they had the same record as the Nets, who's next, who also had 45 wins. And I think we're all going to take the under on that.
I
Yep.
agree.
Yeah.
I think they'll be better. But if Katie's goes out or D Book goes out, and it's just Bradley Beal out there with a bunch of role players, it's the Wizards all over again.
I mean, as long as two. Of
I
them are
think
out
they're
there.
better than the Wizards.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
trust Frank
him and,
Vogel.
I guess him and Nurkic out there could give me.
Right. Have you Nurk when Dame is out? When Dame is out, Nurkic cooks. He puts up like 20 games. It's his team.
Dog, I
Eric-
said you're gonna be better. I'm just saying
Eric Gordon's a good player. Nasir
Mhm.
Little, is a
they need their
Pretty good.
players to play.
Grayson Allen. I mean,
Utah Watanabe.
they have some decent depth. Like it's
Grayson,
not
break your
great,
hand.
but like it's
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not
Dallas
like they
Maverick
have
depth. I
bums.
know Dallas
Yeah.
Maverick has terrible depth, but I'm just saying
there's a
I think
reason
they could be
they're
the one
favorite.
seed if all of them play. That's all I'm saying. They're not. Are they the favorite? I thought it was the Celtics.
A favorite, I said.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. So
I
do
just
we
wanted
want
to
to
throw
talk
that
about
out
the
there.
Nets, or do we all
They're-
just agree that they're going to be a lot worse since they don't have
Yeah,
Kevin
I
Durant and Kyrie
mean,
Irving?
They're gonna be a
Mikal-
tough out.
Mikal Bridges will probably be pretty good, but like They don't really have anybody else on this team.
Dog, Ben Simmons if he gets back to form. But I could see like Pacers net 7-8 seed play-in game. Like I could see something like that happening. Like they're in the play-in and they're like very scrappy on defense. And if they're scoring, they're scoring. If not, they suck.
Cam Thomas was born in Japan.
Yeah,
What?
that's awesome.
Was he just like born in Japan or is he like from Japan?
He went to high school in Virginia, so
Was his dad in the military? Maybe.
I couldn't tell you. But
Yeah, that's
I
how I
just-
feel about the
Interesting.
Nets. I think
I
they'll be
just-
a tough team to be.
I think they're
to
gonna
beat.
be a playing team or maybe like an 11th seed. I don't think they're gonna be super great, but yeah, they're gonna be a very annoying team to play on a night-to-night basis.
Kind of like the Raptors.
yeah, I
Whenever
mean, they'll
they-
have some length, some defense, a little. They have some individual guys who can play pretty good defense.
I'm high on Ben
They got
Simmons
Nick
this year
Claxton
too.
too. Their defense is actually going to be very, very
Ben
annoying.
Simmons, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam.
I think it's a
Tom
little
Claxton
too
Cam
early to
Johnson.
jump onto the Ben Simmons train.
He's a good defender.
Like, yes,
I'm not
he
saying he's
is
going to be
a-
all NBA, but I think he's still a good defender for what he is. He's playing
Yes,
point
he's an
guard for them.
all-league defender, but he's a very, like, he's just kind of a mid offensive player, and mid's being generous.
We'll just
Hey,
have to see what happens with him.
This is the year. Make it or
All right.
break it. He's out of the league if he sucks.
I don't know about that.
Not with that contract. Next is the Knicks, who won 47 games.
Worse.
I think they
A
might
little
get
bit.
better.
I think they're just going to be a couple games worse, but just a couple.
I will,
I think better.
man.
But that's no shot on them. It's just they didn't really change a ton. Like they got, I think Dante DiVincenzo.
I could
But
see them
the
being a
rest of the
top
league
4
was making
seed.
real moves.
I'm I'm gonna go a few games worse, honestly. I just personal bias, do not trust Julius Randle.
He's bipolar. We're due for a down year.
He had 2 good seasons in a row.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Because I think the first year I watched, he was buns, and then last year he was good.
Yeah, no, 2 years ago he was not good. I mean, he averaged 20 points a game, but on horrible efficiencies.
And the Knicks were not great.
Yeah, and he was not an all-star. Like, he was an
The Knicks
all-star.
didn't even make the play-in, did they?
I don't think so.
But all I'm saying is they're the 5 seed, and I could see them being a top 4 seed. Like I think they could win 50 games.
Hmm.
I could be wrong. I don't care. I
You
don't
know,
care being wrong.
honestly, I could see that happening.
I could
People
see it. I'm
underestimate
just not
this
going to
team,
predict
but-
it.
That's just how I feel.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Jackson here. He's convinced me. I think they'll win a few more games.
Because 47 is not that many. Like it's only a few games over 500. And my reasoning is I think Philly's going to drop a lot.
That's fair.
They definitely could.
So I think they're going to take that spot of like Bucks, Celtics, Cavs, Knicks.
Pacers.
Pacers going to be 5.
Pacers going to be 1.
Could you imagine? We trade for like Giannis. He wants out of the Bucks.
He just doesn't like Dame at all.
They hate each other.
And so
We
the
get-
Bucks
no,
are
we-
like,
we
"All
get
right,
Dame
we
too.
just
We
traded
get-
for Dame. We're
We get
building
Dame
around him."
too. They get Buddy Hield.
Oh, fair. All right, next we got the Kings.
I think they're going to
48
fall.
wins. They're definitely going to fall.
Yeah.
I think it'll
I s-
be closer than a lot of people give them credit for.
I think they'll be in the
Yeah.
40s.
I know they had a lot of injury luck, being healthy and whatnot. I mean, I think they'll probably win a few less, but it'll be
You know what I'm
close.
confused about? Sabonis never had surgery for his broken hand. He just kind of played with it. He's like, okay, and he still hasn't had surgery. So I guess he's going to the season with a broken hand. I guess it might have healed itself, but he's
We
just
probably
whatever.
just let it heal.
This man's like, I don't care. I'm just hooping. I see them in the playoffs still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to fall off to like the play-in or anything, but they definitely got very, very lucky last year with injuries, and
I could see.
we'll just see if they can recreate it.
They just traded for Duarte though. He's very doesn't get injured. Never.
Not even once.
Nope.
Next is the Grizzlies with 51 wins.
They're falling a lot,
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
especially with Steven Adams having surgery today.
Yeah, the Steven Adam injury is really pretty devastating, honestly.
I really don't think they're going to be great this year. Like I could even see them in the play-in.
I see them lower. Like they have like Jaren Jackson's like very spotty to me.
But like
Dog, he's
Desmond
7'1"
Bane,
and he can't
is
get a
their only
rebound.
hope.
They got rid of Dylan Brooks too, and I'm not saying he's great, but he was an All NBA defender last year.
I mean,
Yeah.
they did replace him with Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, Marcus Smart. I'm not too
Zaire
high on him.
Williams being healthy this year, I think, is a benefit for them.
They definitely could be a scrappy team still, but like I don't believe in them. And when Jaw gets back, they could have even like such a big hole.
Like without Jaw, and without Steven Adams, I like when I look at them, I kind of just see like the Nets, like what they are, just like an annoying team to play against.
Jaren
Yeah,
Jackson's a 5 this year, right? They're not going to start anyone else.
Yeah, I think so.
you think
Okay.
they
I
may
don't know, they're not gonna
start
be able to
Xavier
get
Tillman.
boards.
Maybe
I was gonna say, I would not be shocked if
Brandon
Xavier
Clark
Tillman started.
if he gets back.
Brandon Clark is no better than, I mean, Brandon Clark would be the 4 in that situation.
All right, so next is the Cavs, also with 51 wins.
I think they might drop a little bit.
I honestly think they could do a little bit better. Maybe just like by a game or two. Because
see
I don't
both
really
ways.
I don't really see them getting worse. Because they just add a lot of depth in the offseason. Mobley's gonna be better.
Yeah, I'll say maybe a few games better.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think their record's still gonna be around what it was last year, but barring injury, they should be a little bit better.
They got Pete Nance.
Will they trade Donovan Mitchell? Also,
If that
going back to
happens,
the
then
Knicks,
it's gone.
I could see the Knicks like buying someone at the deadline. They have all that assets. Like if someone finally comes on the market they want,
Like maybe a good center.
yeah,
Like Tristan Thompson.
Potentially
like Jokic,
Cat, Joel Embiid, Daniel Tice.
Bam.
Never know. All
Isaiah
right, next is the
Jackson.
Nuggets. And the Nuggets won 53 games last year.
Um,
I'm gonna say a few games less.
I
yeah,
agree. They got
Maybe
that
more
target
than a
on their
few
back
games.
now.
Honestly, I think
Bruce Brown's gone.
they'll probably have a little bit of a hangover in terms of, maybe not, I could be completely wrong here. But I personally just think that, like last year they started out slow just because Jokic didn't play basketball over the summer.
He still
And
didn't.
he got it, yeah, and he didn't this year either. And like you said, they lost Bruce Brown. They didn't necessarily improve the roster in any way.
Lost Jeff Green too. That was a good fit.
They kind of honestly just lost some pieces and got older.
Hey, they
So
signed Zeke Naji on an extension.
plus all the we talked about the Lakers and the Suns being a lot better, the Clippers getting better. I
feel like the big thing with them is since they're the defending champs, like other teams are gonna have that game circled on their calendars.
and then the
They
Nuggets
talked a lot of
minds,
shit too.
they're probably more just concerned about making the playoffs, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, all right, we've been the top seed, we won the championship. They might it's probably kind of hard mentally to lock in every night and go out and be like, we have to be the 1 seed. It's like, well,
Mhm.
last year we won the championship, so who says we can't do it as, the 4 seed or something. So I think they'll probably lose less games.
I think LeBron has a circle on his calendar. They're talking some shit,
LeBron.
especially the coach.
That circles Tuesday, baby.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's a few teams that they're just kind of like it wasn't the team. The team's all chill, and the Mike Malone's like, they're scared of us. We're doing so good, and I'm just like, what
The
the
GM's like, we don't need Bruce Brown.
yeah,
We
yeah.
have a
That's
better Bruce Brown.
just stop yapping. You just won the championship.
All right. Next is the Sixers with 54 wins last year.
They're gonna be sub 50.
Less.
Yeah.
I
They're
think less,
done
but
for.
honestly, I don't think they're going to be as bad as some people are predicting.
They'll be a
I think
playoff
James
team.
Harden might lose him a few games, but Tyrese Maxey's going to be good. Joel Embiid. They still have Tobias Harris.
It's just hard when you get rid of someone that averaged 20 and 10. Like that's a big part of your offense.
Don't worry, they're going to be getting back Clippers guy.
Trey
The only thing
Mann?
I worry about is just like, it's gonna take a little bit also to get used to the new system with Nick Nurse.
Oh,
Cause
Joel
like,
Embiid's
is
gonna
he gonna
die.
try to do some of the crazy stuff that, like on defense and stuff that he did
With Toronto.
with Toronto? Cause they don't really have the personnel to do that. Like you look at when Nate Bjorkgren came to the Pacers and tried to run some of this stuff,
Ugh.
and we did not do well because simply because we didn't have the personnel. Like they don't. Tobias Harris is not OG Anunoby out there on the wing defensively.
They got Korkmaz, right?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I think they'll be in the 40s win wise.
That's what I'm feeling.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're only a few games above 500, to be honest.
Embiid has
There's
to
too
help.
much drama.
And Embiid does have an injury history too. And
If
if
they
Nick
could
Nurse
Process
is
has failed.
destroying him,
If Nick Nurse gets his system implemented and they figure out the James Harden drama quickly, then sure, they could get more wins, but I feel like it's too much right now.
Yeah, I'm not high on the Sixers.
next is the Celtics with 57 wins. They
I'm
won a
going
lot of games last year.
That's a
Higher.
lot. I think less. That's just a lot of games.
I think they're gonna be the best
The
team.
East is gonna be more competitive overall. They very well might be the 1 seed, but I think they'll win less games.
I'm feeling them being the 60s this year.
That's a lot of games.
I'm just high on
Who's-
them.
No team
Who's
was in the
losing all
60s
those
last
games
year.
though?
Everyone.
Cause like the Nuggets were the 1 seed in
The
the West
Wizards.
and only won 53 games. Like the Sixers won more than the Nuggets last year just because of the strength of the conference. And we just talked about how almost everybody in the Eastern Conference is probably gonna be better, except for a handful of teams.
It's just 3 games and everyone getting better. I think the Celtics also got better compared to their last year roster. It's just me though. I could be totally wrong. I just could see them winning 60 games.
I
They
could see
won
them doing that.
57 last year.
I'm gonna go with the better. I'm gonna agree with Jackson.
It's a lot of games.
I think I'm gonna say better too, even if it's just one. Their team's just so good. And really,
Porzingis though.
Porzingis
and
is the only one with an injury history.
Drew Holiday's better. Marcus Smart.
They're gonna be nightmares on defense. And
Because even if there are injuries, they've got multiple guys who can probably step up on the
Peyton
scoring
Pritchard
wise.
season.
Yeah.
It's really dependent on if they get a person that like they need like one of their bench guys, whether it's Sam Hauser or Peyton Pritchard or
O'Shea
O'Shea
Brissett.
Brissett or somebody to be a really good player. But I don't know. They'll be in the I mean, they'll probably win 55, 54 games. I just don't know that they'll get to 60.
Here's my hot take. The Bucks or the Celtics, one of them's winning more than 60 games next year.
I could see it.
One of them is going to get more than 60 wins. Or both. I don't know. Maybe they'll just beat the shit out of the Pistons 4 times. But
It's just the league is so deep. So even if they do get it, it'd probably just be 60 flat.
teams we said we got better, right? We said the Pacers. I think both of them are going to beat the Pacers. We said the Magic. They're still going to beat the Magic. We said the Knicks are getting. We said all these other teams getting worse. So I just they got better. So I think they're going to win more. But
Well, we can go
very
ahead
well
and
they
do the
could
Bucks then.
lose.
Bucks won 58 games last year, which was the most in the league.
I'm gonna put them at like slightly less, just because I think they're gonna be more of
I
a
agree.
playoff team.
I don't think they're going to play as much. I think they're going to rest Dame and Giannis more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I agree.
gonna go lower as well.
Plus,
But
they're
I could
losing
also
Drew
see them winning
Holiday's
60.
game-to-game defense. Like opposing guards could just light up the Bucks.
That's why I picked the Celtics to win more than 57. That's just
But whether they're better or worse doesn't really matter for these top teams because they're still going to be really, really good.
Exactly.
the Bucks are a better team. I don't think they're going to try as hard in the regular season. So I feel like you always get talent, and Dame's better than Drew Holiday.
When with the
Alright.
Bucks, we said the Pistons are gonna be better. That's same division. We said the Pacers are gonna be better, same division. We said the Cavs are gonna be better, same division. And we said the Bulls are gonna be worse. So like that's the Central Division. We said pretty much everybody's getting better,
But
so.
those three teams you named getting better, I still think the Bucks are better than all of them.
Like the Bucks are going to beat the Pistons 4 times. It's just maybe the Pistons take a game on like the Thunder and win like
Well,
18 games this year
but
as opposed to 17.
what I'm just saying is like it's not gonna be as easy to win. It's not gonna be very easy to win all those games.
Mhm.
Brook
No,
Lopez.
Like,
I
I
think the
think-
Pacers take some.
Like I think we're kinda a little, like we gotta be cautious, like. It's hard to beat a team 4 times in one season. Like it's
Obi Toppin's going to be
really,
seeing God while trying to guard Giannis.
it's really, really hard.
We'll probably put Jarris if he's playing by then.
Bruce Brown.
We're gonna put Andrew Nimhard.
Nemhard.
Oh, Neesmith. He's our 4. Honestly, I'd put someone like Jalen Smith on him, someone bigger, or like Miles. He could lead Brookhoff. Because like he ain't shooting, so like Miles could just be big body. Now Brooks shooting, so you need someone to stay on the. I mean, we don't need to talk. It ain't a Pacers podcast. We don't need to talk about this.
All right, that's all the teams then.
We have another
We
segment
did
though.
it. We
I think
do.
it's Tucker time.
Tucker Trade Center or Tucker Trade Machine.
I like Tucker trade talks. Fans, you guys can vote in the comments below.
The
Triple
TTT.
T.
All right.
The TTs.
Yes. Alrighty. So since the since the season hasn't really started yet, we can't get into too many specifics as we can't determine if like this player is cooking. But in general, I think a good trade for both teams would be Dallas getting Karl Anthony Towns and Minnesota getting Kyrie. I said earlier, I'm not super sold on Kyrie and Luka. And I think Luka needs a guy who can play off ball. And they still kind of need a center. And I don't like the Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns fit. That can still change. They can change my mind this season, maybe, but this gives them a point guard to play next to Ant. So, what are the thoughts?
I want to see more of Cat and Rudy Gobert because they only played like 10 games together. Like Cat didn't play a lot last year. I don't know if I like Kyrie next to Anthony Edwards because he's in the same boat. He needs more of the ball in his hands to be very good. I do like Cat on the Mavericks, but he's not helping their defense whatsoever. And that's mainly like they're pretty bad defensive team. But
Yeah,
they can score. Kyrie and Luka
That's
can
where-
score.
that's where you could kind of probably get into like later in the season if Kyrie's playing well and maybe Cat's just all right. But the Mavs aren't winning. Maybe they convince the Timberwolves to send them some sort of forward or something.
Now, if they get Jade
Like,
McDaniels with that, I'd be
Well,
in.
yeah. I mean, well, the Mavs have like a pick left, right? That they could throw in. They could do like a pick and Kyrie for those two.
I don't know if you give up 2 picks and for like you gave up a pick for Kyrie and then give him another one with
And
Kyrie.
unprotected too.
Like
Mm.
I don't know about that.
I feel like Luca and Cat would hate each other. Like Cat would do something stupid and Luca would just yell at him.
You would have to
And
worry this would
Kat
be
would
another
cry.
Kristaps situation, but I think Cat would fit better than Kristaps.
I kind of like Rudy Gobert on the Mavs.
That could
Rudy
work
Gobert
too,
for Kyrie
but-
Irving.
But no, but that would look bad on Minnesota's part still. Like trading Rudy anywhere
I
looks
mean, I
bad.
guess, but you're getting Kyrie Irving on a 3-year deal. I think he's worth picks that you gave away for Rudy.
That is true.
Like it's not like an aspiring deal. Like you're getting a multi-year deal of Kyrie, and I kind of like Kyrie and Mike Conley together in the backcourt. I don't know. I
It's
think it could
definitely
work.
interesting, but I feel like it's kind of a lateral move for both teams.
I think Cat's going to New York.
Cody, what are your thoughts on this trade? I know you love hypothetical trades.
I personally think that it would help the Mavericks getting a big, but they would lose Kyrie Irving, who is a good scorer. And for the Timberwolves, they would get another scorer, which, like you said, could possibly be a conflict with Anthony Edwards. but it would clear the logjam they have at center.
We'll open up
can-
more Nas Reed minutes.
I do like Nasri.
Luka Garza minutes.
Sorry.
But yeah, I don't really know that necessarily helps one team or another.
Maybe
super.
found a third team. Because I don't really love the Kyrie fit in Minnesota.
I
Soda.
suppose the thing is, I'd worry about the guard depth with Dallas.
Yeah. Would
That's
there be
They
the
have
backup
Luca.
point guard?
They don't need any other guards.
Jalen Brunson says otherwise.
The only time they went on a run, it's because they had that other guard. But shh.
I don't know. I mean, the trade framework could work theoretically. I feel like you have to like really like look at the semantics. I don't know if it'd help either team.
That's
Too
That's
much.
why I just wanted to lay out a framework today because like if we're 40 games into the season, we can look at it and be like, okay, we can actually put a full trade together because we know how to value this person. But right now, who knows how everyone's gonna play?
My only thing, like rebuttaling this, is if Cat's available, I feel like there's better teams that have a better package than Kyrie. Like I feel like it's gonna be hard because like sure he has been playing well, but he has the skills to be one of the top 4 bigs in the game. And maybe a new scenery makes him play better. Or I don't know. I just feel like the Mavericks don't have a lot to get a lot.
I think the Knicks have the package for him, but he would hate playing for Tom Thibodeau.
He liked Thibs. He played for Thibs.
Does he really?
Yeah, he was his coach in like 2015 to 2019. He's talked high.
Isn't that when they like could not make the playoffs though?
They had a really bad team, Peyton. You don't
Yeah.
understand. Him and Wiggins were not a good fit. I just think the Timberwolves are a pretty bad franchise so far. Just since I don't know. I feel like everyone that leaves there thrives. Like look at Andrew Wiggins. Like he was like considered a bust, number 1 overall pick, and now like he's a really good important part of that Warriors team, won a championship.
They're similar to the Bulls in that way.
Ooh, I want to go up and change my answer to the Warriors. I think they're gonna win more because I forgot Andrew Wiggins did not play last year, and that's a big part of their team.
Mm-hmm.
But like honestly, I could see them winning the same amount of games. That's why I said less. But it's all semantics at the end of the day.
Alrighty. Then I guess you all ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah,
think
Cody,
so.
do a little rap to wrap the game up.
Hit us with the freestyle.
These Bills are pretty cool.
This
Sing
is
it.
the end.
Yo, my name's Cody, and I'm here to tell you like and subscribe and drop a comment too.
Your name's not Cody.
That was fairly solid.
That was Cody.
Ah. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out,
I will too.
muchachos.